My guest today made 7 figures in 18 months as the AI guy, until his body completely shut him down.
I literally couldn't use my hands anymore, and at some point I was just laughing. I was like, this is so obvious what it means, right? I'm gonna paralyze your arms until you can stop what you're doing.
The message was clear, he needed to stop. So he walked away from what was working to find out what he actually wanted to do.
I'm so scared of becoming that person that I don't want to be. I'm not the AI guy, and I became the AI guy. I need to do something that's very aligned with who I am.
So if you feel like you're in between chapters in life, this conversation is for you. So Ole, you said soon AI will send a lot of unprepared people into a deep crisis of meaning and purpose. This is why you should be family maxing, fitness maxing, hobby maxing, aesthetic maxing, non-monetary create maxing. What do you know that the rest of us are missing?
It's so funny. You remind me of that tweet. I think it has a lot of different levels. So I was just thinking about it, kind of just looking into the future a little bit, right? I think it was the day when Sora came out, the AI video tool, and everyone's just creating with this. And I was just asking myself, what does it mean when suddenly something you kind of see as your craft, like something you learned your whole life? Maybe it's copywriting, maybe it's coding, maybe something with your hands, whatever. And now a robot comes and can do it. So I was just asking myself, what does it actually mean for me? Once the machine can kind of take the work from me, it is some kind of relief, right? Because if you don't have to do all the busy work, and it sounds amazing, you could just automate everything. You could just chill the whole day. And I had this mini crisis because I also really love AI, but I was just asking myself, what does it really mean for me? And in a world where, a machine could potentially do everything, what does it mean for me? What will I be doing? And what is it that I still enjoy? And this is why I said this. For me, it really came down to, I think creation is the kind of purpose and meaning of life. At least it is for me. And creation can have these very different forms, right? I mean, creating life is the biggest creation you can do. You can have a child, for example. But having a child has all these micro creations as well. You create, a cool, playful environment. You create fun for the child, or you build a home. And it just came down to me, I want to kind of max out everything I can create. And this could be products. This could be, creating some clothes for myself if I want to. It could mean, building a table with my hand if I want to. But it could only mean just to post content or to create a video. So it just came down, this whole tweet kind of just reminded me that it really doesn't matter if a machine can do something that, that I could automate. If I still enjoy doing it, I will still do it. And probably I can do more of the thing I enjoy, even with help of a machine. So I don't believe in this binary world of, we go past the need of a skill, and suddenly the machine will do everything and we completely change our lives and we just relax. I don't think that's how human works. And this is where the kind of crisis of meaning comes in for me. Because I think most people misunderstand how much of our purpose we get from actually kind of doing something that has some kind of struggle element to it and that is hard. And I mean, Alex Hormozy always, love him or hate him, but I think he's right on that one, that kind of the work is the reward in many ways. So yeah, I was just trying to think about that and what it means for me.
I feel like we all had this conversation with any LLM. I had it as well. And my question was, what work will be never replaced? Let's say if I want to work on something for the next 10 years, what should I focus on? And the end result was sport. There is something that will never be replaced, or mainly, but it will be another category, is for example, a boxing fight. There is so many elements of human that are they will never get shaken by AI, because there is the potential injuries during a fight. There is the human mind that can play in a fight. There is so many things that can make the guy win or not. And with the machine, it's totally different. So my result was I should focus on something around sport. It can be like sell anything around sport because it will never be touched by AI. Did you have this kind of conversation? Like, did you find something that will be never touched by AI?
I had this, but I'm kind of changing my mind. I don't think it's the right question to ask yourself. Because, like, for example, if I talk about, I like creating content or creating videos, and if I ask AI, will AI be able to create really good videos? Probably yes. But I still think like there will always be different markets for different things. And the same way some people might buy, the handmade leather shoes from someone in Italy, there's still a market for that. So another thing I'm thinking about is like people in general, humans are incredibly bad at predicting where things are going, like long term. So for me, it depends a little bit, right? Like if you're doing something, if you are, your job is to fill in a Google sheet, but like go on one website and take one line out and put it into the Google sheet, you should probably think about this, right? But I think if your skill set is more complex and it involves creative elements and it involves human contact, I'm not worried about it too much. I also don't think like the doomers are right. Sometimes people perceive me as a doomer because I also have takes that are more, actually something is happening, and if you just act blindfolded and think, oh, it won't impact you, that's going to be, a bad decision for you. But I'm not a doomer at all. Like, I'm very optimistic, and I think the most important part is to, again, create things with the tools that you have. And that also means with new tools that you have. But I don't think like this mindset of, oh, AI will come for everything, so I need to get to the one thing that's not going to be impacted because, this is the safe haven. I don't believe in the theory of safety at all. I think like safety is an illusion in many ways. And for myself, like I feel way more free not knowing what's going to happen. And, concentrating on the basics for me is to work on my skills, to work on things that never change, right? Like to work on communication, for example. I think that's a big one that probably most people kind of underprice, but it has such a big effect, even with AI. Like, if you can communicate well, you'll do well in life. Like, if you can write well also without an LLM, that's going to help you as well. I even think some of these skills, for example, speaking well, they're actually worth more when everyone's using an LLM to write their emails or to write their notes and to prepare, because everything becomes the same. So it's actually easier to stand out. So there are many interesting opportunities, I would say, because people tend to search for this one thing that won't be changed. But if I had to say what won't change is definitely like the need of human connection. That's what we're seeing. I think everything in real life is really bullish. If you have a company or a product to include live events, to meet your customers, to build something, to build like a world around what you do, rather than just like this digital front, right? Like you don't have really interaction with it. I think that will become even bigger as well. So yeah, I'm not worried too much.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like human interaction will be something really rare, and that you should double down on that. And yeah, again, like any product you build, it should have a human side on it. Is it why you started vlogging? Because you published your first vlog on YouTube. Is it for the authenticity and human side of it compared to an X account?
Yeah, 100%. So I would not say like I wasn't there, like wasn't sitting at home or like on my planning board. I have to be more authentic. How can I be authentic now? Yeah, it was something that was authentically me, funnily enough. But I do like I was just looking at myself, like what kind of content am I watching? And for me, it was mainly vlogs. And I asked myself, why is that? Like I'm not going to YouTube, I don't know, to just watch like educational videos, or it's mainly vlogs of people that I respect and think they are interesting. But there's something there to be inspired by someone's life. It's like almost like a proxy teaching you something. You don't have to really talk about it. You just see the way they act and they live. So I really enjoy that. So yeah, I think vlogging is going to continue to be very big, even though it's way more work than a lot of other content. It's something I realized doing YouTube. I was like, oh my God, it's a different beast to master. Yeah, that was my main decision, that I think like that connection that you have to someone is very hard to replicate with other content. Like vlogging is really good with that, and video in general.
Yeah, again, I agree 100%. And it's pretty hard to do vlogging. I did it for a while in French, and it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time during the day. It's something that you have to keep in mind to film yourself. And if it's not something that you're used to do, it can be quite a lot. What was your experience with the first vlog you did? Did you have like good comment, feedback? Did you like doing it?
No, I enjoyed it. I think it's actually a format that I think it's like naturally something I can do way better. I've also done like a talking head video, and I felt like, like completely stiff and like, oh my God, this is horrible. It's gonna come out anyway today. Doesn't matter. I'm still gonna post it. But I realized it's fun for me to. It feels more like you're like talking to a friend, right? If you're doing a vlog, you don't have the headspace to prepare a perfect script or this perfect story arc. And I think that for me, that's kind of chill to do. On the other hand, I think you have to have a balance, because I couldn't vlog every day. So for me, it's like maybe I vlog one day every week, for example. And I just record comments on what I'm doing, and that's totally fine. Because otherwise your life becomes this, this could be a vlog thing, right? Like, we can't do it now because I have to record it, and now the light is shit, and now it's dark, and I can't do it, and you have all these restrictions on your life. So I don't want to do that. But yeah, it was fun to do, but it took so long to finish it. I actually tweeted like my first YouTube video took 2 years to shoot. It actually took like 1 week to shoot it, but I wanted to do it for such a long time, but I felt such a big resistance of like, I want to do it, but I'm not doing it. So actually I had to pay a guy. That was my trick, accountability trick. So I paid a guy to come up with like a strategy for me, even though I don't need a strategy. So I paid him, and I was like, now I have to do the video, because if I don't do it now, like that means I'm just bullshitting myself. And it worked, I guess. It was an expensive first video for one video, but now I'm more in I want to do more. And the first one's always the hardest.
That's cool. Well, I wanted to invite you because I feel like we're both in the same phase of life. We are the same age, actually. You are in this kind of recovery phase that you talk about in your vlog. But before talking about that, I want to go back to who you are and what you've built, because I think, again, that we're pretty similar in that. You built an audience on X. You made money through info product mainly, right? And also consulting. Can you just go back to when it started and what you built and how you made money online?
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about the last 3 years, so otherwise it's going to be too long. So that was the beginning of my creator journey. I was a creator before, but again, it's like a long story. It's just going to be confusing. So let's say I started being a creator again. I started my account from zero again. That's a good starting point. And that was in November 2022. So around when ChatGPT came out. And I was just talking about business stuff in the beginning, like a little bit this, a little bit that, not really focused or anything. And ChatGPT came out, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm just going to try an account just about this topic. I started an account that was called the AI Solopreneur, which in hindsight was a great niche to start in because no one was doing it. AI just got started, and the account it was the craziest growth phase, right? Like you post something, a thread, get like 30,000 likes every day. Like it was insane. The account grew from like 0 to 100K in, I think, 65 days. It was insane in the beginning. So this was the AI Solopreneur. I also started a newsletter, so I got into the media business, kind of learned how to do that. So I funneled everyone from X. Good thing I did it from the beginning. Like after the first week, I started to funnel people to email, which if you don't do it, do it. It's the most important part to make money with, especially if you're on X, if you ask me. So I founded people through a newsletter. I started sending a weekly newsletter, which was basically, basic prompts. At the time, it was like, hey, here, this is a prompt. People were like, oh my God, a prompt. It was still very new and mainly focused for solopreneurs. So like one-person businesses and people who wanted to become solopreneurs as well. So that went pretty well. After 3 months, I started to just get some interest for a product for all the prompts I was doing. So I sold the first product, I think in August, so 5 months after I was starting, or 4 months, yeah. And the first product also was a kind of slam dunk, which I understood in the once I tried again after some time and it wasn't that easy. I was like, oh, that was actually like easy mode. So that one did that super well. Did another product which also went well. I also started to do some consulting on the side, mainly for marketing stuff, content marketing, very different clients to be honest. And most of them came through my courses. I had an upsell which I only added because I wanted to have a really big price difference. I didn't plan to sell it. So I priced it at a ridiculous amount. At the time for me, there's this no one's gonna buy it. And actually 8 people bought it. I was like, shit, I need to do consulting now. What the fuck? How can I do it? So it was kind of funny. But I learned a lot. It happened so fast and I had to learn all these things like how to build a media business. I never did email marketing before, so I really went deep into email marketing and building the products, filming the product, all of that stuff. And the second product came out, I think in March 2024. But that was kind of the end of my... Yeah, we can talk about this more, but just in short, I just found out that I'm not the AI guy, and I became the AI guy. Was invited to speak at AI conferences. Some people would love that, but I don't know. I was always someone, I need to do something that's very aligned with who I am. And I'm okay with not making money if it's not me. For me, and my body was telling me this, you can't do this anymore. So I stopped this business to sell these courses, but it was kind of interesting because I also got some other consulting offers, which I don't really talk about on X, which is more B2B stuff, which also paid super well, which also came from the audience, right? But I continue selling the products on the back end without producing new products, which is amazing if you have a product. That's kind of the magic of it. So I kept writing my newsletter, but I changed it to a more personal newsletter, which is sometimes about AI, but it's also about my journey, what I'm doing, what I'm changing, what I'm seeing in the world. And that turned out to be a better format for me because it feels more genuine, and I'm creating it because I like creating it. It's almost like a kind of a diary that I do every week. I've been doing that ever since. And right now I'm working on some new things, some new beginnings.
Well, we'll talk about that later. I just want to know, so your funnel was X, probably lead magnet. Yeah, you talked about a prompt, newsletter, info product, email marketing. So pretty straight. Yeah. How much did you make since 2022?
With that business?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends what you count into it, right? If you count everything into it, it's over 7 figures. Also the other stuff that came from it, it's not directly connected to this is the product I sold under the brand, but I would say the umbrella of everything, it's over 7 figures.
It's so funny that we're so similar. We started almost at the same time. We were in this gold rush of X. It was in French for me, but same on X. Built an audience, made money on that, do 7 figures. And then you have this kind of question, I don't want to be that guy. For me, in France, I was the SEO guy because I talked a lot about affiliate and SEO. And same, I was invited to podcasts and conferences about that. But there was I wasn't aligned with that anymore. And I just sink the ship. I was okay, I said everything. I move in English and I start over. And I am in this same phase probably that you call the recovery phase, this kind of in between when you want to start something new, but you have your old past sticking to you. So how did you feel after that? Like maybe right now or maybe a little bit before?
Yeah, I don't know. It took a while for me to understand what I wanted. And the problem is, if you have something that works, it's actually much harder than something that doesn't work. Because if something works, your whole like external world will tell you, like, oh, this is amazing, keep doing it, just keep focusing, which inherently is not wrong. But if it's very misaligned with what you want, and if you're just gonna be more like that thing you don't want, right? Like if you do more of it, I think like you just like, yeah, sometimes you might be able to get someone else in, but for most personal brand stuff, it's actually impossible to do it right. So it's like really you have to kill it if you don't want to do it. For me, like I was really like close to being a little bit burned out. I would say I had like health issues which I couldn't explain really. And the most intense thing I got was like my arms, which was like hurt crazily. Like all my tendons were like super inflamed. I even don't know if the inflammation was why it hurt. I think it's more what you call chronic pain, and chronic pain is actually starts in the brain and not in the tissue, right? So it's just like your nervous system being in like an alarm cycle. But for me, it was very like symbolic. Like I literally couldn't like use my hands anymore, and like at some point I was just laughing. I was like, this is so obvious what it means, right? Like it's like just stop doing. Like, I'm gonna paralyze your arms until you fucking stop what you're doing. So I'm very, I would say I'm very connected with how my body feels, and I really like. I think you have to respect what your body's telling you. It's like this: you only have one body. Your health determines everything else, and if you can only ignore it for so long. And at that point, I was like, I can't ignore it anymore, and I won't. And it means I have to stop this now, even though it's going to throw me into this big like sea of uncertainty, which also is painful. It's actually as painful in the beginning if you stop the thing that you're not, because then you tried something else and you're like, fuck, this is hard. This thing before it was working, but it's like this very weird state to be in. So it took me some time to adjust to that. Then I started, like I tried 2 or 3 different angles after that, which some of them went okay, but it was the same thing. It's like, not really what I want. So I just kept on trying things. But then I became a dad, which like obviously is like this thing you don't want to. I'm actually happy I couldn't find the next big thing, because in hindsight I'm like, okay, imagine I would start this new company, it goes super well and it's just starting, and then like you become a father and you're like, oh my god, like what the fuck, like how can I handle all of these? So I think in hindsight for me it was okay, that it wasn't happening at that time. I also got a really other opportunity I was helping someone with. So that's totally fine. But yeah, I think zooming into like what's happening right now, I think I know a lot more, and I'm starting to work with someone on a software product as well. So I'm kind of getting into that world. But again, it's a lot of first time still, getting used to stuff, learning something new, and understanding what is hard, but it's actually something you want, versus like what is this something that you shouldn't be doing, right? That's very hard. It's like a very fine line that you have to find. So for me, it's like trying out things until something sticks. That's like my strategy right now. But I keep growing my social things, my social brand, because I think I know everything good that came to me in the last years in terms of opportunity, jobs, people I've met that I work with, everything came through my social. And so that's kind of my mic is doing funny things. That's kind of the constant I was seeing. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now, kind of refocusing everything. Also, my personal brand was a little bit all over the place, and I was like talking about this and that. So I think for me now it's a good time after this big change in my life of like basically changing a role in my life to, kind of try to align a little bit and cut through the bullshit. Like just ask myself, what is it really that I want? Do I really want it? Because if you want it, then I should do it. And if I don't do it, then maybe I don't want it, right? So to be very, very honest with yourself, that's important.
You kind of romanticize the exit, like, okay, I will just kill everything and then I will just start again and it will be fresh. And I love starting from scratch. But then when you start from scratch again, actually, there is all these questions that come in your mind, like, do I really want to do that? And it's pretty hard to start again, actually, to start something new, because I don't know if you feel the same, but it's like you have the skills to make money because you made it, but you don't want to use the same path to make money. At least that's how I feel. Like, I know to make money with affiliate SEO. I know everything about that, about building an audience, selling an info product. I'm good at it, but I don't want to use the same path to make money again. I want this time to be 100% aligned with what I want to do. And like, this is a big word, but it's so hard to know what you want. What is your process to actually find the answer?
That's such a good question. I think your body will give you some cues, because most of the time in hindsight, if you look at something that you really didn't want to do, you kind of knew. It's like sometimes you try to manipulate your mind and look for all the arguments. Oh, but it's a great market. It's an awesome opportunity, and I have this crazy hack, and I can do it. But you're just like trying to bullshit yourself. So for myself, I think it's good to reverse engineer from the kind of life you want to live. That already excludes a lot of stuff, and who you want to compete with as well. So for myself, I know that I don't want to work in an office with 100 people, like never be home. And so for myself, I understand I want a business where I create leverage in some way. So that could mean, I might be the part of the business that maxes out the distribution leverage. That could be something. So I could do this from everywhere I want. This could also mean, you're really good at automating your offer, maybe if you do it via email, for example. So I know what I don't want. I think that's even more important to understand. Like, these are the things you don't want to, that that you basically, there's no discussion that you'll ever want to do it, right? And I think it's a lot of trying different business models, also trying identities. For example, I tried something where I started a profile called the Longevity Dad, which was a good positioning, and it also kind of worked. But at some point, one guy was reaching out to me on LinkedIn, and he was like, "Oh, I have to tell you now, like I've been following your stuff for a long time, but like I don't believe you when you pretend to be this like health pope." He called me health pope in German, like health Gesundheitspapst in German. And I was like, fuck, he's kind of right. Because I also realized obviously this is an example if you're a creator too, so you have to talk about the topic and you have to embody the topic. And I was pretending to be this, oh, don't use this, the plastic is going to kill you. It's always, this thing is going to kill you. This thing is so bad for you. And actually, I'm not like that. I care about my health, but this role I was in to create this brand and company, it really wasn't me. And that's what I'm trying to do now, is to find things that I'm kind of genuinely interested in. It's not an engineered interest because there's an opportunity. I think that's the problem, the mistake a lot of people make. There's always this discussion of, follow your passion. It's hard, right? Like, if you're like, oh, I want to be a painter. That's like follow your passion, but it's going to be hard, right? I still think there's like a lot to this, and I've been an artist when I was younger. So I was making a living as a music producer, so I know this life, and I think that was also very close to who I was, and I always enjoyed the part of being an artist, and I think that's the important part. Like you have to like the identity of what you do, and this is a deeper level for me than the, oh, how much followers can you get, how much money can you make with it. But this is like the idealistic side of it, the identity part. But I think then you have to find the middle ground of like the Venn diagram of like, okay, this is still something you can monetize. Because if you can't monetize it, you're going to suffer, because then you have to do something else to make money. And that's always this, there's this really weird interaction. So I'm trying to find something why I genuinely enjoy creating the product, because I'm passionate about the market, and I like the identity of being that guy. And if I don't like the identity, then it's the wrong thing. It's also not worth the money, because like, something for me that's very important is like, especially now, since I got my son, like you realize how fast time goes by, and it's so easy, right? Like then 4 or 5, 10 years have gone by, and you're still like the SEO guy, it's going well, but you're like, yeah, I'm not really the SEO guy, but everyone looks at me and, oh, the SEO stuff is so cool, and you're like, yeah, okay, I guess. So it's so easy, right? And it really scares me. It's like the same thing when, now again, I'm always talking about the child thing, but it really amplifies everything. And since I had my son, it's the same thing. It's like, I'm so scared of becoming that person that I don't want to be. Like, just because maybe it's more risk-free, or this is the way you should do it, and this is the easier path. It's so easy to fall into that trap. So I'm trying to avoid that, which is not easy.
Don't you think that now you ask this question to yourself because you have the privilege to ask this question, while when you started, the only question was like, okay, I need to make money. At least that was that for me. And now that I know that money it's not easy, but like it comes. Like if you're good at something, I know that I'm not scared at all about making big money again. It will come for sure. So now I'm like, okay, I had this chapter of I want to make 10K a month, or I want to make that amount a month. I did it. I know it works. I know it's not bullshit. It's something that actually works. So now I have the privilege to actually think, okay, what do I want? Is it aligned with me? Well, at the beginning, it was like grinding mode, like I have to grind. I don't care. I will take anything online. I found the first online business that made money, and I followed that path and I made money. So don't you think that you ask that to yourself just because you have the privilege?
I was doing what I wanted to do even when I was broke. That's the honest answer. Like I did a lot of stuff in my life where I was like, I'm not sure if this is gonna work at all. So I think this was the mode how I was living my whole life until the AI solopreneur. So this is more of my default mode than the other thing where I'm like, oh, this is an opportunity. This is something I have to jump on. But yeah, of course, now I have the privilege of waiting a bit. But also it also weighs you down a little bit because you have this expectation, right? Because for you, once you made a certain amount of money, if you're like, oh, I'm doing this new thing and I make like $1,000, and like feels like the ceiling, you're like, I'm not sure if this is a thing, right? So it's still hard to get this out of your mind as well. So I wouldn't say that I don't care about making money. That would be completely wrong. So I care about it, and I also care about doing something that I can scale enough that I have this like, oh, I could make this bigger if I wanted to. So that also matters. But yeah, I wouldn't call it like a privilege that I have now. Sometimes I would say it's even helpful if you don't have enough money to like, just wait for a couple of months and see, because sometimes you can also get lost, right? Like that's like the other thing. And I know someone who had a pretty big exit, and he was like, oh yeah, maybe I'm gonna try this and this, and like for years he just basically until his money ran out. He didn't do anything. He was like, fuck, now I have to do something. And then suddenly the next thing worked, and he was like, oh my god, like why did I wait so long? So I think there's like there are different ways to look at this, and it's just important to get your hands dirty and to understand that every business is hard. That's something I've just realized again. It's like there is no super simple, good business. And as long as you don't expect that, I think you're fine. Just need to be patient.
If you said you reverse engineered, and if you reverse engineer when you actually succeeded on X, what were the factors that made you successful at that time? If you had to make a list.
I think I have two accounts, right? I have the AI Solopreneur account, which was the first account I grew, and then my personal brand account. So the AI Solopreneur account, the main thing that grew the account was finding a trending topic that wasn't super popular at the time, which was AI. But then to go down one niche further, it's like it's not only AI, but it's AI for solopreneurs. So it's like a specific customer. So it was very targeted. That was one of the key things why it worked. Then once I found one formula, which at the time were these tool threads, like some ridiculous hook, just a list of AI tools, and people were hating on these, which was good because it brought engagement. So it was free engagement every time. People were like, oh, these shitty AI tools, they don't work. But the thread always blew up. So I was like, okay, this is working. I'm going to do one thread every day. Most people did like 2 to maybe 3 a week. I did 7 or 8 a week. Same format, just pound the same stuff. And so it's like find a good positioning, niche it down a little bit more to some person you can relate to, which was solopreneur for me, which like an audience I understand. Then find a formula that works, look at the data. Every week go to the data, look at what are your posts, like just rank them by likes, look at which post brought you the most profile clicks. That's a great metric to look at because those people probably convert into followers. If you post something like a newsletter plug or a lead magnet, look at the conversion there, look at the click rate, so I track stuff like that. It's a beta-based approach. Look what works, try to understand why it worked, and then iterate on that. And that's what I've done for both of my profiles. But actually right now, I'm only doing my personal brand account. And I think I should do it more structured again. But for some time, I just like went off the rails and I just posted whatever I thought. And it was also freeing. But to be honest, the account wasn't really growing anymore. But it's more like, I also, to be very honest, I don't think X is the best channel to grow your business at all. It's more like a relationship authority, influence thing than it is a business building platform. It's better to find people to help you build your business or to hire on X than it is to get leads. That's what I think. So I don't have a crazy strategy right now, which I'm following for X. It's more like POV, finding my people, finding people I like to work with. That works super well. But I want to do more YouTube now. I think that's way better to build like a long-term a business engine than it's on X. So yeah, but that's my strategy right now is that I have to create a new strategy.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, I agree with you with like X is not the best way to make business. I think it is a really good way when you have an info product to sell.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like it's one of the best because you can post the link in your post. You know, it's not in the description. It's not like Instagram where you have to use ManyChat or whatever. It's really straightforward. You can sell really fast. Or if your audience of the product is on X, like let's say Super X, for example, it's amazing. But yeah, other platforms are way better. And for you, it's YouTube. You say you don't really have a plan, but what is your goal with YouTube? Like, what will be the channel in 1 year if everything succeeds?
So my plan right now is to use YouTube as like an accountability channel for myself and to document me building my next business. So I don't have an offer planned right now that I want to sell. It's more show people that how I build businesses, and deconstruct that and like build more of like a hardcore audience that likes me as a person and how I do things. And then potentially I'll do maybe do a backend offer again for YouTube as well. But for me, it's mainly giving depth to my personal brand. I still write my newsletter, and I have a lot of people who read it every week. So I want to give like a new dimension to this, but also, again, like create this more like authentic IRL part of what I'm doing. And if I build the business and the business works out, let's say, then it would totally make sense to deconstruct that and build an info product because I know how to do it. And honestly, I think it gets a lot of shit sometimes. But if you build a business that works, and if you then turn this into an info product, it's literally the best business model you can do. It's so easy in terms of you already did the work, you created the proof. So I think if you do the stuff that you want to sell, so let's say someone creates an info product about building your first SaaS product, getting it to 10K MRR, whatever. If you do this first, you build your product to a good revenue, and then you deconstruct this and you build a playbook, it's like, I don't know why this gets so much shit, because it is a great monetization method. And I think if you do educational content in a way, like you talk about how you build your business, it also helps you to systemize yourself more. It's almost like it's a forcing function for yourself to come up with frameworks if you want to teach it. Because if you never turn it into frameworks, it's probably somewhere in your head, it's all these like fragmented things you're doing. But if you want to create a good product, right, you don't want to scam anyone, like sell them some shitty thing that doesn't work. But if you have a way of doing things, then I think it's like a really cool add-on that you can do. So that's like my plan on a longer time scale. I want to focus more now on really creating, like, to do more business stuff and document it versus like create a product about this at the same time, because I think it's too much work. And if you want to do the business part right, I don't think like you have the capacity to also create a product. So that's what I want to do now.
About the info product, it's funny because you're right. Like a lot of people hate on it, but honestly, I've done that. And if you don't sell like an empty PDF or whatever, and if your product actually give result to people who actually work, you have, honestly, I never had such amazing feedback about something. You know, when you get a DM and you change the life of someone, like literally, it's amazing. Like for me, I loved that business model because it is actually amazing. You change people's life if you actually make a good product. While some business are praised, like for example, I talk about affiliate SEO. If you do an affiliate website about casino and you make 100K a month, people will be like, wow, you're such a legend, you're a goat.
Yeah.
Why are you actually scamming people? You take people who are actually struggling in life and put all their money into casino, knowing that casino, you lose money, and then you make money on their back, but people will say that you're a goat on X.
Yeah, it's so true.
If you make an info product and your info product is amazing, people will say you're a scammer or whatever. I think that's crazy because because it is an amazing product, and an amazing business, and the feedback you get and the reward you get by seeing people succeeding. I never had anything like that with any other business yet.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, again, it depends on the quality of the product. And if you care about quality, I would say my life has been changed more by info product than by some SaaS I bought, right? It's weird, but yeah, probably you shouldn't care about what anyone says anyway. And yeah, in the end, for me, I just have the feeling of I want to be a founder more right now than I want to be an educator. And so I want to focus more on that, on doing more business stuff. But I did so much education stuff that's almost like second nature now to talk about it. Like when I do something, I'll just post about it on X, and I think it will develop naturally to build a product around this. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the product's going to be. So I can't tell you like, oh, I have this plan of building this one product in this niche. I'm very interested in software right now, but I can't code, so that's like the downside. So I have to I have to work with someone, or at least get a more basic knowledge of who I need. Like, it's like this whole black box. So I'm working with someone now to find out if I like this. But in general, I really like products you can distribute digitally, because it just, I have some e-com friends and they are always so stressed because something's wrong, and like, they have problems with, one has problems with tariffs, the other has like supplier was scamming them, or like all the refunds are coming in, it's too long to ship something, suddenly prices increase, and like you have all this headache. And I think that's the good thing. If you already build an audience and you know how to build an audience, then it makes so much more sense to build a product you can distribute digitally. If it's, software, info product, community, whatever, like it all works.
In all those years, like you went through a lot of entrepreneurship season. What did you learn about yourself, and what do you think is your genius zone now? Because you talked before about you want to be the guy you leverage, and to have this leverage, like what is your genius zone? What is the thing that you do and you're really good at and you want to double down on?
I would say it's the media part, and it's also finding things that are interesting to people. To find something early, like to find something that's trending enough, but not at the end of the hype cycle yet, and to come up with ideas around that. So I really enjoy the media part and creation part, kind of the marketing / product / social. So it's different zones, I would say, that overlap. But that's what I've been doing mainly, and I've enjoyed it a lot. So I don't enjoy the kind of technical aspects of things, but I enjoy to create something that someone can use. As stupid as it sounds, and this also applies to a content piece, right? Content piece is also like a mini product in a way, where you ask yourself, like, what can you ship to someone that will give them an insight or will give them a certain feeling. So yeah, that's what I'm most in. It's like the creative part of it, like the big kind of over category, if you want to put it on it. Yeah.
And what is it that you are working on now? You talked about software. Like, is it a specific software, or you're still working on the idea?
No, it is quite specific. So it's like it's basically data analytics for prediction markets, which I was very active in crypto for a long time and also worked with companies. But I don't know. I'm a user of a lot of like financial software tools, and just something I like. And I found this guy who was building it, so we're just teaming up. And for me, it's mainly about understanding how you build a product like that, because it's a market I'm interested in. Also, it's a market that's trending right now with prediction markets and elections and all of that. But for me, the most important part is to go through one software product cycle to understand, okay, these are the things you do, these are the problems you have. For me, that I have like an understanding. But what I understood so far is that it's actually, because I'm mainly focused on kind of understanding what people want, right? Like building features that people want, and how to sell these features and how to get them interested and all that. And it's the same. Like, that's what I learned so far. It's actually the same. I just need a developer to build this stuff, because in the end, you do the same thing with an info product. It's, different lessons or categories are just like different features you build. You talk to people. In the end, it's really not like, it's not rocket science to do it. I guess it can be rocket science on the coding part, right? If you do something very complex, it's a financial application, so it also has, has some blockchain parts to it, because it has to read the chain to come up with the data. So you have to have someone who has in-depth knowledge. But yeah, I just enjoy creating things you can use. That's really cool about it. That's also kind of cooler than an info product, because it's like a thing you can tinker around with. Like, it's almost like a physical thing you can take and you can feel, and you can click things and like, oh, this feels cool. So I really enjoy that. But yeah, I'm also asking myself, like, what could be a product that's, because this product is not aligned with the audience I built at all. That's also why I don't really share about it. So I'm also asking myself, like, what could be like a cool product that I could sell to my newsletter, for example, because I have, over 40,000 people on there. And now I'm like, actually, it's not that hard to do something like that. I don't know. It had it felt like a bigger thing to try than it actually is, because I don't know how to code. So to me, it's like, building software seems so much more complicated. But I think actually there are many ways to start with pretty simple things. The only thing with software, to me, is still that question, kind of circling back to the beginning. If you build something really simple, has any staying power, right? And that's I think the problem with software in general, that if you want to go into software, that's also why I like the prediction market stuff, for example. Not because prediction market is my number one interest, but it's it's a finance space. It's way more technical. It's not super easy to build these things because you have to have deep understanding about how markets work, how these trading mechanisms work, how the blockchain works, how, maybe regulatory things you have to go into. So I think it's easier to build a company that has moat because it's harder to build it. So I was asking myself, why am I not just, I'm talking about content all the time. I'm a content creator. Why am I not creating a content creator too, right? And I still don't have the answer if that's stupid not to do it. But it's something I see everyone's doing the same thing, right? Everyone's like, here, create this on autopilot, this on autopilot. And it's all kind of mid and it's not sticky. And I tried them all and they all kind of suck. So yeah, I'm trying to find something where I'm like, hey, this is actually something I can go deep on. And it's not like a surface level thing.
Yeah, I feel you. I've started this journey of co-making. I would say 7 months ago.
I saw you released an app today. You posted today, right?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
And I think I found the fit. Like, I will see. We'll see when this podcast will be released. But I worked with few different devs, and it's really hard to find a good match humanly. Yeah. Find a good human that you also want to talk to, that understand your vision, that is ready to build the vision that you have. And I did 3 SaaS now. One of them made like $145, which was a win in a way. Yeah. And now I'm building an iOS app, which is funny because he was saying you would like to build something that you use. And I'm so excited. He actually sent it to Apple Store today and it's like reviewing. And when it's okay, I will be able to use it on my phone. And that's an app that I will use every single day. Like, I need it right now. So I think
that's Can you share it already? I need to know.
Can I? Yeah. I will be broad, but because we have the vision, but like the idea right now, we try to find the MVP that will make a difference. So this is not 100% right now, but the idea is mainly I want a single app where I can track everything, which is enter my blood work, get the aliment I have to eat every day, track my macro, and see that with like a mix of my data from my Apple Watch, from my sleep, and have one single app that I can use and track everything that I can optimize. Because I think we have the same thing. You have ApoB, right? And yeah. I did my blood work not long ago and I work out a lot. I eat super well, but there was some mismatch in it. There was things that I was like, wow, that's really not cool actually. And I want to get my nutrition right because my engine is good. I can really perform with sport, but I feel sometimes that, I have like lack of energy or there is this stress inside me that is more physical than mental. And I want to fix that. So I really want an app that can actually track that and I can fix it with it. So it's pretty exciting because it's an app I will use every day and I will be able to give feedback to the dev every single day because really cool. I will use that. Yeah, and I
How did
want
you
to
find
share
him?
it with X. Actually, the first podcast I did was with David Atias. He's building B2C app as well on
Yeah, I
iOS,
know
and
him. Yeah.
he told me, man, you should just do a post on X and look for a dev. I did it, and what I do usually, I use Tally. I create a form, and then when people contact me in my DM, I send the form. So if someone filled the form, I will have all the profile in a Google Sheet, and it will be way easier to see like what they built, where they live for the time zone, because I'm in Indonesia. I don't want to work with someone in US, for example.
Yeah.
So that made it easy. And then I just chose the two best profile. I had a call with the two of them, and one of them we started from to talk about anything else but the app for 30 minutes. And that's a really good start. You know, when you
Yeah,
start
yeah,
to
that's
talk
good.
about
Yeah.
life and everything, felt really good. We started to work together. And yeah, he's a smart guy, really good at what he does. So yeah, I'm excited about it. But it's hard.
No,
Like
that's cool.
it's constant failure, and it's hard to fail after you win, I think, because I won
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
past
know.
few
It
years.
is
You know,
for
I had
sure.
like
Yeah.
success and stuff, and I made money. And now I start again and I fail. Like, you know, I made an app zero, second app zero, third app $145. I'm like, if I started, I would be
It's
happy about that.
145 times one.
Yeah. And I'm like, now I really aim for way more than that, as we talked about before. So for me, it's like failure on failure, but in a way, it's like just the path to learn. I'm just learning a lot. And now I start to figure out what kind of people I can work with, what kind of app I really want to build. And it will take time, but at one point, and maybe it's right now, I will find the perfect fit and build the perfect product that actually I want to put my skill on and take care of the distribution, because I'm the same
Yeah.
profile as you. And I know that if I have a product that I can push, I will push it like crazy every single day. So yeah, all of that
No,
to
that's
say
cool.
that, yeah,
No, that's really nice. Yeah, I really resonate with that. I think it's if you're not technical, there's sometimes you have this feeling that it's just so hard to find someone. It feels like this huge task because it's also very hard to judge if someone is good enough. Maybe you have 5 devs and maybe 2 are dog shit, but it's very hard for me to tell from just talking to them, like from vibes. So you really have to try it. I had a really stupid app for a health app idea. I'm gonna tell you. So I was thinking it would be really cool to have an app that uses the Whoop API, and every night you can challenge your friends to like a sleep battle or a sleep duel, and then you can just like you get an arena and you can publicly invite someone on X, like you're asking Brian Johnson for a sleep duel, and you just click the link and it syncs to your Whoop, and then you can just like add it to like little avatars or little Pokemon. You just like go to the arena, or like basically it's just like using your sleep data to win. That's like a stupid idea.
wow, that would be nice. I honestly, I got obsessed with that, and maybe it's like the 30 plus crazes, because yeah, we are exactly the same age. You're 33, right?
34.
34, yeah, well,
Yeah.
almost the same age. And I feel like I'm obsessed with that. You know, I've been taking care a lot about my health, almost stopped drinking, doing a lot of sport for a while, but now pretty seriously. And I'm addicted to that. I'm obsessed with it. And I think when you're obsessed with something, that's something that you
Yeah.
have to work on.
No, 100%. I agree. I think that's so cliche, but it's really the only, because if you wanna win with something, you have to have that energy, right? And the interesting part, if you're obsessed with something, it almost like sometimes it also becomes more playful as well. Like even though you're like so into it, it's also the only thing you want to think about, because like you just want to figure it out. And it's something I've learned is like it's very hard to succeed with the energy of like brute forcing yourself. And I think that's kind of contrary what most people tell you. They're like, I think the idea of grinding it out is wrong, because it implies that you work against resistance the whole time. And not to get too woo-woo, but I think there's something like the world understands what you put into something energetically. So if you are only doing something to make money, it's like, this needs to work, this needs to be the thing. It's almost like the world pushes back. But once you do something because you're like, again, you're obsessed with it and you want to bring it into the world and you want to use it, it's like it's more expansive versus you're trying too hard. It's so funny because on the other hand, you also have to work hard, right? You need to be dedicated, but you need to work hard without trying too hard. That's what I found out. There's like this interesting way of working really hard, but still being playful and still exploring and being creative.
It's exactly that. Like, for example, the last product I built was about distribution, because I saw that on X there was like a huge demand on indie hackers who needs distribution. I started a waiting list. I got a lot of people in the waiting list. I did a mini agency to try the service, who will be a SaaS later. And I got the customer in the first 24 hours, $500. That was like, okay, I can make a lot of money with that. If I give myself the time, I will make a lot of money. I started to work on it. After 2 weeks, I was depressed. No joke. Like, depressed is a big word, but like I was empty. I was going in my office. I was like, oh, I have to work, and not like, oh, I get to work. And I felt so empty. And yesterday, I actually decided to cut it, because I was like, okay, it's cool. I can make money with it, but I will not be a sad man going in my office every day just to make money. But it's hard to actually, take that risk. You found, I don't know, like...
I totally know what you mean. I had the same thing with, I built this newsletter for Built in Europe, which was about highlighting startups in Europe. And it went super well. And like in the first month, it was growing as fast, I would say, the newsletter as the AI solopreneur almost. So I got like 4,000 newsletter subscribers in I think a month or something like that, which is really a lot for me organically. And founders of the biggest companies reached out, and I met with some people. Like, it was like just crazy, the kind of amount of things that were happening. But the same thing, I was like, I don't want to be a journalist. I don't care. Like, I don't want to talk about other people's company. I want to build my own company. So there was this mismatch of I could have grown this, and I know, again, if you know how to grow it, I think that also gives you some confidence. If you find the thing, you'll be able to grow it, and I think that's the most important part. But otherwise, if you spend so much time growing something that's not the right thing, it's like, for me, it's a little bit like, you're in a relationship. And let's say you want to start a family and you're very sure about that. And the other person is like, no, I don't want it. And you're like, I don't want to leave this relationship. I'm kind of used to it, but I know I'm not aligned. But actually it takes you away from the goal you want, right? And it just prolongs everything. And actually it's a risk for everything you do after, because like you don't want to do it. And I think if you have enough entrepreneurial drive and enough motivation to know that you can build things, then it's okay. Because I would say the counter position is the risk of you try a million things and you never stick to something, right? That's the real risk. And that's something for myself, I'm struggling with, like, understanding, am I just jumping ship all the time, or is it really because it's not the thing, right? Like, sometimes you second guess yourself. And I think that's the hard part, because you still need to commit to something for it to be successful, right? Like, that's the only way how it goes. Like, the only thing you have to do is to commit something for longer if you really want to do it to make it successful, because nothing grows in a couple of months like that's sustainable. So that's the hard part for me, at least.
It is, because you have to commit, and you see all these founders who committed for one single business for so long, and it worked. There is this guy I just saw, like, reach 40 million a month MRR not long ago, but he tried hard since like 2007, I think, or something like that. And I'm not this kind of person. I'm the same as you. I like to try a few things, but the thing is that, and we have a proof that when we found a winner and we actually loved doing it, then we actually stick to it, because you stick to AI solopreneur for a while. You did this really well. And I think it was the same for me. So yeah, the brain tried to trick me with that, like, oh, you should focus on one thing and push it. But in another way, I feel like there is a question of timing, having the good idea at the good time and being like 100% aligned with it. And yeah, sometimes you just have to be patient.
Yeah, I think it's mainly about trying enough things to see, right? Because if you don't try them, and for me, most interesting things you'll discover once you start digging. So for me, most things are only an entry into a market. Let's say I want to work on prediction markets. I'm not even sure that is the thing I want to work on, but this will get me into the space of, financial software. This might, and you get into all these sub things and these sub problems and sub niches, and then you'll find something that's actually worth solving. So I think that also releases some of the pressure of, you have to find the idea. Let's say your app, right? Like maybe your app, you launch it now, but you'll notice people are super obsessed about one key thing, and you're like, what if I focus more on that, right? So I think that's more important, that you get a big surface area of interests and problems, and you really understand what problems are out there, and then you can try to solve them. Because if you're just in your head, it's very hard to get to them. I mean, you can always take the approach of solving your own problems. That's also a good one for sure. But if it's not your own problem, then I think just working on it and talking to people and keeping an open mind, and also trying some stupid things where you're like, oh, this actually sounds stupid. It's actually a good thing for me. If I think that's if I think it's stupid, there's probably something there.
Yeah, I think the conclusion is just try to fail as fast as possible, because for me, that's exactly what I do right now. I just fail and fail and fail, but I learn every time, and I'm not afraid to fail anymore. And it helps a lot to actually discover what you really want to do. Because if Beethoven never had a chance to play piano, he would have never been Beethoven, and that's always the thing. You have to try a lot of things until you actually find what you're really good at and what you really want to do.
No, I totally agree. It's so cliche, but all the cliches have truth to it. It's the greatest business advice: just try something and fail. Oh, really?
But isn't it funny that that's something I realized not long ago, that a lot of these flat advices like that, fail more. I don't know. It's only if you never stop that if you never give up, you will succeed or whatever.
It's on the wall,
Yeah, but the thing is that it's true. It's actually really true, and the best business advices are the most simple, because when you reach a certain point, for example, I just exit a business. I sold my website in France, and I always thought I don't understand people who exit and have this little bit done after that, they lose their purpose. I was I will never be like that. And I was like that. I was done.
Yeah.
I lost my purpose because I was okay, that's what I was doing, and that was my identity. So every time I reach a new phase or level in life, I understand that these simple advices are the best ever, actually, because they are often really true.
Yeah. For me, it comes down to finding something where you're not only working for some future outcome and for a big exit or to have a lot of money, because your life can be over so fast and so many things can go wrong too, right? You can build a company. People even build companies to 100 million revenue and it goes bankrupt. So it's not even that once you build the big thing that you can sell. Maybe then it's really bad time in the market, or maybe some new technology comes out and suddenly your business goes bust, or some regulatory things, something gets banned, or there's a trade war, whatever. So many things can happen. So for me, if you're if you're depressed building something, your body is telling you something. Or maybe you don't have to call it depressed. Maybe unmotivated, sluggish, or whatever. But you should listen to the signal that you're getting, and I really believe that you can find something where you wake up energized building it, and it's worth looking for it. And I'm just reminding myself, because I'm also not feeling like this right now, but I think this is what I'm doing, why I'm doing what I'm doing, to get to this point again, because you have to go through so many phases and cycles, and it's important to know that like just making a lot of money won't fix most of this. And most people, they don't believe it until they feel it. And they're like, oh, maybe it's because I didn't make, 100 million. It's so obvious that it's, so I'm happy I had, some success, not the crazy success, but enough success for my past self to be like, hey, if you have this, everything's going to be amazing. So it was good for me to understand this is really not about it. And it's way more about finding a way where you wake up. I would love to wake up and be like, hey, I want to create something cool. Like, how can I build this life and still have enough time for my family to travel to places and to meet with people? So for me, this idea of like locking yourself in a room for 10 years to build your company, it's so stupid. Like, I don't understand. I really think you have to have some kind of, I don't know, it's almost like how do you say that? Yeah, it's like a chip on your shoulder, right? It's like something of your own self-worth that you're not even aware of, that why you're doing it. It's not healthy to do it. So for me, I'm really trying to ask myself, like, why am I trying to make money? What is it that drives me? Is it the lifestyle that I want? Is it something that's something about my self-worth? Is it something I believe about myself, something I think that will happen at the time? So I'm trying to be more like as aware as possible, but also on the other side, like try to find things again that how can I make most of my days feel like, I'm doing the right thing and that I'm producing something that I'm proud of.
And why do you want to make money then?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of a lot of these things. It's definitely part of it. It definitely is. I think it's different things. So it's a great scorecard. It's, oh, actually this worked, right? And the more money I make, oh, this worked better. So it's like a scoring board for yourself. I would say that's one thing. One thing is money definitely brings you some freedom, for sure. Freedom where you can live, freedom how you can travel, but it actually doesn't matter that much, to be honest. Then for me, a part of it is definitely status and self-worth and like feeling, and I would be lying if I'd say like when I was making more money, I also felt better about myself. This is the truth. And I think it's good to be honest to yourself and to be like, oh, like it doesn't change me if I make no money. It definitely changes how I feel when I make more money. But it's also a good teacher in that regard, right? Because you'll notice, oh damn, I feel worse about myself now because I'm making less money, but actually I'm the same person. Like, well, how do I feel? Is anyone, and probably the people around me don't see me differently, but I feel differently. So it's an interesting teacher about yourself. But yeah, I think I want to build something that has enough impact in terms of it impacts people's lives. They use a product, they interact with it. I see it changes something for them. It gives them some value, or it entertains them for content, for example, or it gives them an idea. That's why I want to create. It's to impact people in some way.
Well, Ole, I'm really happy I met you at this phase of your life, because I know you will have something big coming soon, and it's just a question of when, because you're on the good path and you did it already. I will not take more of your time because I know you have a schedule, but I would love to do that again. It was really a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah. I also didn't know that there were so many similarities. It was really, it's funny because I talked to my girlfriend about some of the topics this morning, and it's cool that we talked about it. Almost felt like it's a good reflection session for me as well.
I was honestly intrigued by your profile, and then I went deeper. I dig a bit and I saw your vlog and I was like, that's so funny. Like seriously, like, yeah, we are in the same phase. And it's a weird phase because it's kind of a luxurious phase in a way that, you're not like at the bottom of the mountain, but you're kind of at the bottom of a new mountain and you already hiked
Yeah.
one. And it's like mentally, it's like a funny place to be. It's a lot of learning about yourself and a big work on yourself. You have to look at your past, look at what you've built, what worked, what you didn't like, what you really want to focus on. And it's really interesting. And there is not a lot of people who will understand, but I'm sure a lot of people will recognize themselves in it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Well, have a great day, and I will see you soon.